Welcome back to the Power of Personal Branding and Manifestation podcast with your host. It's me, as always, Malika, content creator, entrepreneur, and your girl to personal branding and manifestation. So, welcome to all the new entrepreneur and content creator girlies that has been joining and tuning in on the podcast. So, today I'm going to be talking about how you can start expanding what you are capable of achieving. So let's say there's like a goal that you've been trying to reach or that you've been looking at and you're like, oh my God, like how am I going to do this? I don't know if I'm capable of achieving this. I'm here to tell you how you can start achieving bigger goals for yourself and bigger chunk of success for yourself and actually being able to expand what you're capable of achieving. The number one thing in order to expand and achieve more, achieve bigger goal, achieve your next milestone is to, first of all, believe that that is possible, right? Like you need to believe that that is like something that is doable, that like other people have done it, and so you know that like, okay, like this is something that is actually achievable. Like it's not a fantasy that I have, like it's actually something that can happen. Not just something that's possible for other people. This is something that is possible for you, because yes, it is possible for you. And the only difference between you who doesn't have that, who didn't achieve whatever it is that's a milestone in your business, that is with your content, that is with brands, within your dream life, like whatever. Okay, the only difference between the people that have it and you that doesn't have it is that they decided that it was possible for them, right? Because if you don't believe that it's possible, if you do get it, right, like afterward, you're gonna self-sabotage because you don't think that you are worthy of it, basically. And so you need to know that this is possible for you. So how do you start doing that, right? So first of all, you need to find some sort of proof, right? So this can be like looking at like other people that have started right where you are and they have achieved this level of success that you want to have, right? And then after, you can also look at your past achievement, like things that like you have accomplished or overcome that you never thought would be possible. And so this, again, we're really reaching out for proof of your own experience of like things around you so that your brain can start to alter and realize that like this is actually something that is possible for you. And so this can be like achievements that are not necessarily linked with the achievement that you want to do, but it can just be something that like, oh my God, I never thought that I would be able to get here. I never thought that I would get over this person. I never thought that I would get over this situation, but I did. And all of these are proof of achievement. Or even like small things like, oh my God, I never thought I would be able to post my first piece of content. Like, you know what I mean? All these things are proof of achievement. And then you're going to start looking at what is the story that is holding you back, basically. Because the reason that you are either scared of going to that next step in your life, or that you're scared of like going out and believing that you're capable of achieving what you want to achieve, is because there's a story that you're telling yourself that you actually believe more than what you want to achieve. So let me give you an example for this. So let's say you are telling yourself, okay, my parents expected me to go to college and my parents paid all of this for me. And so like this would be such a waste of my time to not use this degree that I have. And so I can't like go and start my business. I can't do this, like I've never had my first client. And so who would want to this is like the kind of story that holds you back. Why? Because you are reinforcing the reality that you are viewing right now. But if you want to view a different reality in order to achieve more, you need to switch the way you are seeing your current reality, right? And you need to start telling yourself a new story that will not hold you back. Okay, and I know that it can be not the easiest or simplest to do, but it is honestly such a powerful thing to do. And so instead, okay, of that story that's like, oh, like my parents or these people expect that out of me. What do you want to expect out of yourself? What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your life? If all of these things didn't matter, right? If all these things didn't matter, because at the end of the day, you would be successful anyways, no matter what you choose, what would you choose? So, once you have that empowered story that, okay, listen, you know, this is the path that I thought I was supposed to be on, but oh my God, this made me learn that this is actually not the path for me. There's actually something calling out to me, and this wasn't a waste of time. This is what made me realize that I'm supposed to take another route. This is what made me realize, like, oh my God, I'm supposed to do this. And you know what? Like, even though maybe these people have this expectation out of me, I'm going to build a new expectation. I'm going to set a new expectation, and they will catch up eventually. Okay, so this is number one. Like, this is like the story that you tell yourself. Or let's say that you are in a plateau, or maybe it's not like you want to start a business. Maybe it's just like you already have your thing going for yourself and you want to reach a new level of success, right? And so you need to start looking at, like, what are the stories that you hold around this? Do you believe that it has to be hard? Do you believe that this is really hard to work towards, and you can never get any rest, and like you always have to be working so hard, and like all these things, and it's never effortless, and it's like it's gonna require you so much time and effort, and you can never enjoy your life, like, right? Like, even these are like stories that like hold you back because they make you believe that by achieving more you will get less, which is not true. This is just the story that you're telling yourself. And so we need to debunk that story, and then it's gonna be different for everybody. Like it's hard for me to just tell you every single story because I don't know what the story you're telling yourself. But you can also make a list of what is holding you back. Like, what do you feel is holding you back? And this is great to do because most of the time you're just like focusing on like, okay, like this is what I want, and then you're like, how do I get there? How do I get there, right? But sometimes you have to stop and look at like, what are the things that I feel are holding me back? Like, and write a list, and then the best way to go about this is that you start tackling everything on the list. You want to check off everything on the list. You're like, okay, this is bothering me. How do I make it not bother me? Okay, how do I get over this? Okay, this, all right? And then you start breaking down all your limiting beliefs, because what is truly holding you back from achieving new levels of success, of being capable of achieving more, are truly like what you think in your mind, what's going on in your mind. Okay, that's where it starts. That's all where everything starts. And so you need to change the way that you are thinking about it. And even for me, let's say, before I used to think that making $100,000 was like so much. I was like, oh my God, like that is so much. Like, wow, like that is so much. Like, I don't even know how I'm gonna get there. And then I started being around other people who were making that amount of money like it was normal. And I was like, and not a big deal. And I was like, oh wait, well, maybe, yeah, a big deal, but like, it was like they're like normal, right? It was like what they were striving for. And then it made me realize like, oh shit, like actually, maybe it's not as hard as that, like, and complicated as I'm making it out to be. And so seeking that proof, being around other people, and you're like, oh my God, like, actually, what the fuck? Like, this is maybe not as hard as I'm making it out to be. Like, in my head, it has to be so complicated, right? So I'm making it so complicated, but maybe it doesn't have to be so complicated, right? And so that is the step. You need to start believing that that is possible for you. All of like what we think we're capable of is directly linked to our identity. Okay, like that is directly connected to our identity. And our identity is like what we go through in life, what we experience, what we feel, right? Like how we were raised. Like these are the things that we attach our identity with, right? And our identity is very tied to our stories that we tell ourselves, right? And so for me, for example, for the longest time, okay, I only thought in my head that I was like, okay, I'm just this like freelancer and I only do beauty things. Because like I was saying, I was having an identity crisis so bad because for so many years I built that identity that I was only in the beauty field and like that was like what I was in and everything. But then when I started realizing that like this is not what I want to do anymore, I actually want to do something else. And I actually also want to make a different kind of amount of money per month. I want to make X amount of money per month, right? I wanted to raise my standard and achieve more. I was having an identity crisis because I'm like, oh my God, who am I to do this? Like, I don't feel ready. I don't feel like I'm this person. And that's really what it comes down to, is that we need to start shifting the way that we view ourselves. And that's what I started doing, right? I started like saying, okay, like if I were that person that I want to be, like what would be my priorities? What would I be doing? How would I be expanding my knowledge and my skills into, marketing, into personal branding, into content creation? Like how would I expand my knowledge even more so that I feel like I'm becoming this person that I want to be in order to achieve these new levels of success, in order to achieve this new goal that I have? And so that's what you need to start looking at. It's like, okay, you don't feel like this person right now that can achieve this. The person that would be achieving this, what is their priority like? Like, do they focus on getting leads, on getting clients, on putting themselves out there, on creating content, right? On putting their toes in the field, maybe even like connecting with other people within that industry that knows more, that like I can start being around these people and I can get ideas and I can feel like I'm becoming this person. I'm becoming a part of that niche. I'm becoming like this person that I want to be in order to achieve that goal. The way that you start viewing yourself is going to start shifting. And this might be on like a longer period of time, but the thing is, the more you do things that feel uncomfortable and out of your comfort zone, the more you will be able to achieve, because you are expanding your identity. And when you expand your identity, you start achieving more. Because why? You start expecting more of yourself. Now, this is also another thing that I want to touch on, because I know some girls are like, oh, but like, I'm scared of telling people what I want to achieve because then they will expect more out of me. But truly, it is because you want to expect more out of you, but you are scared that you will let yourself down. So what are things in your past that you set an expectation and that you actually reached it, so that you can use this as leverage, as like, I can do this? Or let's say you don't have that proof. Okay, what can you do to start feeling like you are changing, like you are becoming that person? So this can be using your words, all right? So how do you speak about the goals that you want to achieve? Are you speaking about it in a way that's never gonna happen and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to achieve this, it feels so difficult, and like, I don't even know, I don't feel ready? Or are you saying, okay, how can I actually like feel more ready? How can I expand my knowledge? Like, what's the guidance I need? Do I need help to achieve this? The way that you talk about what you want to achieve will directly impact the way it happens. And so if you talk about it in the way that it's not going to happen, or that it's going to be difficult to get there, that's what you're going to get. If you're saying, I'm going to get there with ease and I'm going to make this like an effortless transition, I'm going to make this happen for me and I know that this is possible, that's going to happen. because you are setting that expectation, and your mind will alter in a way that will make this happen in the way you're saying it's going to happen. And the big thing about this is that you need to start doing what feels uncomfortable. That's what you need to do, because the truth is you will never feel 100% ready. And so if you actually want to achieve new levels of success, you need to do it when you're not ready. Because listen, like I get it. Even me, when I first started out, and I was putting down my goals, and I was like, okay, this is my new goal for this month. This is whatever. This is what I want to achieve. I was like, how the fuck am I gonna do this? I don't feel ready for it. I don't feel like I'm ready. I don't feel like I'm anybody to be making this happen. How the fuck am I gonna do this, right? And then I just started doing things. I was like, okay, let me just do whatever and just try. And it felt uncomfortable, and it felt very not me. But over time, by doing these action and by me pushing my boundaries, I started pushing the boundaries of who I believed I was. And so that started expanding my identity. And this is really what it's all about. If you take one thing away from this episode, okay, it is that in order to achieve more, you need to expand who you are. You need to expand the identity that you have of yourself as someone who is capable of achieving more, of someone who is capable of doing and achieving these things, right? And then you want to start looking at what are the action steps that this person that has it would do, right? What are the action steps? Is this person focusing on getting clients? Is this person focusing on doing content creation? Is this person focusing on my energy? Am I focusing on investing in coaching? What are the priorities? And then look at what are you implementing right now to reach that new level of success? Because if you keep doing the same thing and you think that by doing the same thing you'll get more, you'll just get more of what you already have. And so in order to achieve more, to get more, you need to start shifting what you are doing. And maybe you don't need to shift everything, but maybe there's definitely something that you could implement and be better at, And so this is really what you want to start looking at. And okay, this is the thing. You can't be the person that you want to be without becoming that person first. I know this doesn't make sense. Maybe it does for you, but let me break this down, okay? You can't be the person that you want to be without becoming that person, okay? Because if you're always waiting to be that person and then you can achieve that goal, or once I'm at that level, I'm going to start achieving that, or once I have this exterior validation, then I can do it, or once I have this title, then I can do it, or you need to become that person first, and then the achievement will come into your lap. Why? Because you are expanding who you are. You are expanding what you are capable of handling and what you are capable of achieving. So you need to start taking action in these areas of yourself that you feel are lacking. And then maybe you're like, okay, Malika, I'm literally trying to manifest and get and achieve X amount of money per month. What does that have to do with what I lack in myself? Everything, okay? Because what you achieve is a direct reflection of you. And so if there's something that new that you're trying to achieve, or there's a new milestone that you want to achieve, it's directly a reflection of you. And so therefore there's either something lacking that you are hoping to get by this exterior validation, or there's something that you're not implementing in order to get that result that you're looking to have. And sometimes it's both. And so you need to start looking at okay, what do I hope that this next goal is going to give me? Is it because I'm looking for exterior validation? And how can I give myself that validation firsthand and actually believe that I'm worthy of this? And then that's how you receive it effortlessly. All right. And I know it's it seems a bit like a backward thinking, but it's not, because to me, the other way is the backward thinking. You need to get that validation first from yourself to be able to attract those results that you want. So this is really what it is all about, okay? So believing that it's possible for you, and looking at the stories that you're telling yourself of why it's not possible, and shifting them and expanding your identity, and start taking action that feel uncomfortable but that keeps pushing your boundary as a person. If you haven't already added the podcast to your playlist, it's everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you listen and tune into your podcast. And thank you so much for your support. And as always, feel free to join our free Facebook community group, where I'm gonna start giving so much value only to the people that are in there. And I really want to know in the comments what you are working towards achieving. I love to know what the girls are working towards. All right, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in, and don't forget to leave your 5-star rate and review on the podcast. I love to know what you guys think of the episodes, and I will meet you here next week.